The Supreme Court has upheld the banning of TikTok in the United States of America. It's fascinating to me because I don't know how this is even going to work. But nonetheless, the United States Supreme Court has upheld the federal law that would ban the Chinese-owned social media platform TikTok 2 days before this is slated to take effect. Now, the caveat is unless sold. So somebody's got to buy it in order to prevent it from being shut down. So we're going to see how this all plays out because President Trump is on record as having pivoted a little bit. I think he initially agreed with the attempt to ban TikTok in the United States, but he has since come around and has changed his position and supports TikTok. Look, I'm thinking about all the video clips I see all the time on social media. 90% of it comes through TikTok. You see ads for TikTok now. You may even hear ads for TikTok on my show. I don't really have any hand in that. I don't have a say in that. People are always concerned about China's influence and access to our data. That cow's out of the barn. I don't think that they're going to infiltrate the United States via TikTok, but many people do. And I don't know how this is going to work. Seems kind of crazy to me, and I'm gonna still predict that somehow TikTok will be saved. If Trump wants TikTok to survive, he's got the richest man in the world by his side, Elon Musk, and Elon could buy TikTok. So I think something like that might happen, but time will tell. But again, breaking news, the Supreme Court has ruled that TikTok is to shut down as scheduled unless it is sold. All right, if you're just joining us, the Supreme Court has cleared the way for a TikTok ban, upholding the lawmakers on Capitol Hill and their strong-arm tactics against the popular social platform's Chinese ownership. Now, the caveat is TikTok will be banned Sunday, supposedly, unless somebody buys it. And that, to me, is the caveat. You know, all the text messages that I'm getting are all about saving our kids. You got to save our kids, Mike. I love you, but why? Love you, Mike, but I'm a firm supporter, says Dayton, Ohio. Ban it, save our youth. I got an idea about how to save our youth. Be a parent. You don't want your child to be on TikTok. Don't let your child be on TikTok. The government, in my humble opinion, shouldn't replace you as a parent. And I'm kind of fascinated at how we get, we kind of pick and choose what we're going to do with China. On the one hand, we talk about what a threat they are. On the other hand, we do business with them like just about no other country in the world. How about banning China from getting to buy any property in the United States? Any real estate? You know how many high-rise office buildings and condominiums and apartments are owned all over the country by China? You want to know how many goods and how many products we buy from China? Made in China is ubiquitous. But you want to ban a social media app? I'm not on board with that at all. Again, here's another text from Atlanta. The big fear with TikTok is what our children are being exposed to. All right. You worried about Instagram? Are they being exposed to bad things on Instagram or Facebook? Or what else? What other sites are there out there? There's a gazillion of them. I can't keep up with them all. Why TikTok? Because China owns it? Okay. Then what's next? I don't think we ought to be in the business of restricting people's ability. Like the other caller said, you know how many Charlie Kirk videos I've appreciated and enjoyed on TikTok? It's a bad idea. Deborah's in Maryland. Hi, Maryland. Thanks for your patience. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. You have to look at history. Number one, we were hacked by China years ago, lost 5,000 emails, and I'm not going to go through that whole story. But you have to look at this book called Staying the Rising Sun by Phil Keith that we're just reading about. Do you know how the Japanese got their attack on Pearl Harbor? Because the Navy was doing a maneuver that they did earlier, and they just copied them.
All right, thank you. 800-655-MIKE. John in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hello, John.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you?
All right. I've got an issue with TikTok that nobody's talking about. I favor the ban. I'm sorry, this is the first time I've ever disagreed with you. But what about the free speech factor?
Well, that's
in the same vein. Same vein.
We agree. What do you mean you disagree with me? I feel the same way.
I thought you were against the ban. I am sorry, I misunderstood.
Oh, you're for the ban.
I am for the ban. Until they get this issue worked out with free speech, think about what Musk did with Twitter, naming it X, eliminating anything that censors speech. Then Zuckerberg jumps on board with the Trump train, and he's done absolutely nothing to eliminate this free speech impediment.
All right, I'm so confused about your call here, with all due respect. I don't know if I'm understanding you completely or not.
Okay.
Elon Musk, under Jack Dorsey, Twitter was a cesspool of censorship. Big tech was censoring everything left and right. Elon Musk comes along and says, "No, that's wrong. You should be able. We shouldn't be moderating people's content, and we shouldn't be blocking people." So he makes it free and open. Why? Well, why are you complaining about Elon Musk?
I'm not complaining about him. I'm complaining about no one has followed suit with what Musk did.
Okay. So you're not complaining about Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter.
He did exactly the right thing with the purchase of Twitter and the renaming it X, taking away the impediment to free speech.
Right. Well,
why has Zuckerberg not done the same thing with Facebook since he jumped on the Trump train?
Zuckerberg just announced they're ending all of their content moderation. They're ending all of their censorship. They're following suit. They're doing that. That's exactly what they're doing. And I thought you were going to make the case that you should have the right, if you want to be on a social media app, whether it's owned by China or owned by Uzbekistan, you should have the right to be on that social media app. Don't you have the free speech right to be on whatever app and use whatever app you want to use?
I have the right to use it, but my free speech is impeded once I say something that they don't agree with. I live 50 miles south of the biggest plot of land that China owns in the United States in North Carolina.
That's my point.
I live 30 miles east of the second biggest tract of land that China owns in the United States. Look at the North Carolina map of the land that China owns. China should never own another plot, not a blade of grass.
And they do. And they do. I just made that point 2 minutes ago. I'm not sure if you're listening to the show or not. I'm sorry. You're kind of all over the road here. At the end of the day, if you don't like to be censored by TikTok, then don't get on TikTok. Don't use it. This is the disconnect it's like everybody thinks we're all being forced at gunpoint to have a TikTok account. Don't have a TikTok account. You're worried about your kids being exposed to the Chinese government? Then don't let your kids have TikTok. My gosh. This is so unbelievable to me. I mean, we make choices, and we get to make choices every single day of the week. And yet we have a government that's become this nanny state where they're going to tell us what's good for us. And to the one point you made, sir, that I completely agree with, I have great respect for Marco Rubio. I have great respect for all of these politicians who are sounding the alarm about TikTok. Like you said, let's ban China from owning property in the United States of America. There are states that are trying to do it. DeSantis has made the effort. Look, there are people, you want to talk about free speech? There are TikTok advocates who say there's more free speech on TikTok than any other platform. It's not even close. In fact, here's a text from Arizona. America is trying to ban TikTok because the politicians can't control it. I'm astounded every single day with the amazing content that TikTok puts on my page. That's just, and again, I'm not active in TikTok. I'd like to be. We're probably going to be if somebody buys it and it doesn't stay banned. What are we going to ban next? How about you going to ban Facebook? How about Instagram? Let's get rid of Instagram.